All right. How's everyone doing? So, you just heard the sentencing from the court in the Cory Bigsby case. He received 40 years, which is the maximum penalty for the second-degree murder, and he received 5 years for concealing and disposing of a dead body. And so now we are moving on to phase 2 of this case. As you remember, or you can recall, this case initially started with 7 counts of child neglect. And then when we got over to circuit court, we indicted 23 more charges of a combination of child neglect and child abuse. So we are going forth with that. For those who were in the courtroom, you heard me state we're ready to set those cases, and we are. And so the court is going to provide their dates, and then defense counsel and I are going to come up with an agreed date to try this matter with a jury, and we will go forth there. In those cases, he is facing, I think it was 156 years total. I can be off on the numbers because it's been a while since I've totaled the maximal penalties for those cases because I've been focusing on the murder. But nonetheless, it's somewhere in that range of about, I think it's 156 years that he's facing. And yes, I will be asking for the maximum on that. And I know for some of you, like, you are hardcore. Can I tell you why I'm hardcore? I'm hardcore because I want you to think back, particularly media. Think back, and can you remember a case that has literally erupted in our community in the 757 in such a manner as Codi? Where is Codi? People looking for Codi. People saying that they saw Codi even though it was not him, because people wanted to believe this 3-year-old was still alive. And that is the biggest trauma, I really believe, outside of to his immediate family, his mother, Dina Kareem. I think outside of that harm to their family, the harm to the community has been so exacerbated by the fact that we just don't know where he is. And there's only one individual who knows that. And so you may have seen some theatrics in the courtroom in which the defense attorney was trying to downplay the evidence and try to make it seem as if 10 years from now, Codi is going to be found. Codi is dead. That's just the reality of it. For those who have any questions whatsoever, Codi is dead. And we have to make sure the person who murdered him is held completely accountable for what he did. And so that is why we are going forth the way we are going forth. That is why we are not going to spare not 1 ounce of mercy for him. If you want to give mercy to someone, give mercy to the family. give grace to the family. And I'm talking about his mother, his brothers, who every day got to live with the fact that they can't play, can't interact, can't love on their loved one. And one of the most heartbreaking things that was said, I think, by Mom when she testified is when she said the twins, who, if you recall, they were a year younger than Codi, they referred to him as baby Codi because they're now older. So he's going to forever be that 3-year-old, forever 3. So that is the next phase that we're going to go forth on, and hopefully we can get through that before the end of the year, but it's going to be based on the court's availability. So I'll open it up with questions.
Attorney Bell, you said in March that you were going to go for the max and there wasn't going to be any consideration, just like you're saying now, about the child abuse and neglect charges. Was there ever any doubt in your mind that Judge Hawks would pronounce the max?
No. I felt that he's a member of our 757 community, and I think he could also look at the factors that he clearly was able to articulate in this case. The fact that you're dealing with a parental figure, the fact that you're dealing with an adult and a 3-year-old, the fact it was so heinous, it was so gruesome, and that he died at the hands of this perpetrator, the fact that he concealed the body, disposed of the body. And here's the other piece that not many are saying, the fact that there's just simply no remorse. There's just simply no, how do you have no remorse for killing your own kid? That's the sociopathic problem that I have with it. The element, that, the elephant that's in the room. You have no remorse for killing your 3-year-old? None? An innocent baby? So I believe that he was going to max him out. That was my hope, my request, and I'm glad that he felt the same way as the Commonwealth did. Yes.
You stood 10 toes down, thou should not kill. Why was that important for you to address to the court?
Because at one point they try to portray him as, I guess, this Christian upbringing, church boy. He's this good guy. He wouldn't hurt a fly. He's just so mild-mannered and so forth. And I'm like, well, if you're this Christian good boy, goody two-shoe, army vet, so forth, then I'm sure they taught you also in the church, thou shalt not kill. And so absolutely, that was my theme. And they gave it to me because I wanted them to understand, if he's that guy that you're saying that he is, then he should have known that you shouldn't kill, especially your kid. No. I don't think he has any sense of remorse. Even if you notice, when they did their argument for the court, they really basically try to make it seem as if he still is innocent, and that 10 years from now, the court or the community is going to hear the real truth, and we're all somehow, poof, he's going to appear. Not happening.
What was your reaction when you saw Bigsby's jailhouse interview with the news stations on the day of his conviction?
You really want to know? How can I say this? Yeah, narcissistic, but that's not the word that came to my mind. Truthfully, fool.
You turned to the community when you were saying, hey, the community needs this sentence. What were you trying to say, or what were you saying?
Just that. I wanted it to be clear. It's not about me. It's not about Bigsby. It's about the community. That's why the style of the case is the Commonwealth of Virginia versus Cory Bigsby. The Commonwealth is the victim, along with Dina Kareem. The Commonwealth is the victim. And if many of you news media outlets, I'm certain you have heard from different members in the community who have either approached you or you've heard conversations where they were impacted negatively, some to tears, I can't tell you the number of people who have approached me since this verdict and has come up to me and just thanked me, just out the blue. Thank you, thank you. People watching in North Carolina, in Surrey, all over this region, outside the state, they were watching and following this case because it impacted them so much, because people wanted Codi to be alive. That's just the bottom line. You want that baby to be alive. We still want that baby to be alive, but just the reality is he's not. And so for them, it was traumatic every time somebody came forth and said, I think I saw Codi, only to find out, no, it wasn't him. And so for them, it was huge for them to get closure, for them to get accountability, for them to get some sense of justice.
Mr. Brown made a statement. He said he beat you in a case they had 3 life sentence. And he said he think you took it personal, and that's why you were so aggressive with this case. How would you like to respond to that?
I would say that Mr. Brown has shown his lack of professionalism throughout this case. And if he thinks it's personal, so be it. If he can't see that killing a 3-year-old, a person should be aggressive concerning that, then I think it is time for him to retire. Thank God for that.
Anton, how disappointed would you have been if you were not able to give the closing? It sounded like you were not going to be able to give the closing statement to the judge as to what sentence you wanted.
So, at the end of the day, I think the evidence spoke for itself. I think for me personally, being able to give a voice to the summary of all that has occurred was important. But at the end of the day, based upon what the judge had articulated and clearly had already written down, I think his decision had already been made, but he wanted to hear what it is that the people wanted to say. Because at the end of the day, I represented the citizens. And so I'm glad that I was able to get that opportunity. But even with that, you saw an attorney trying to expedite a matter, show professional courtesy, and again, when you're dealing with a lack of professionalism on the other side, that's what happens.
You were able to get this conviction and the max sentence off circumstantial evidence. Looking ahead to the second trial, are you going to have physical evidence, and are you going to have to put a child on the stand again?
I won't speak to that, Dan, because that case is pending, and so I won't be able to talk about pretrial evidence or the same. The code or the ethical codes does not give me the right to really talk too much about cases that have now already been adjudicated. The only reason I'm even here to address you guys today, because this case is over with. He's already had an adjudication of guilt, and now he's had a sentence. So I could talk about the facts of this particular charge, but I can't talk about the specifics of what's going to happen with the next set of charges.
Do you believe Cory Bigsby would ever tell us what baby Codi is?
No.
Attorney Bell, you had mentioned that the community is a victim as well as the family, the siblings, and Codi's mother. And you said the whole 757 community. You're a member of that community. Today, when you were arguing just the physical logistics of the way it played out, Mr. Brown was behind the podium, you took a few steps toward Judge Fox. You were passionate in your argument. How personally were you affected by this case?
So, as I'm a career prosecutor, I've been doing this off and on since 1996. I have seen the worst of our society. I prosecuted the first triple homicide in Hampton along with someone who's now a circuit court judge. I have prosecuted probably one of the worst sexual abuse cases involving children that you can imagine, involving everything, including prostitution, bestiality, and child porn. I have just seen the worst of the worst. So when you unfortunately take that in, there has to be an outlet somewhere. So for me, my outlet is being able to fight for those who can't fight for themselves. So do I take on that mantle, or do I take on that righteous indignation for the people? Absolutely, I take it on. But just as quickly as I take it on, I take it off. Because if you don't, it can create burnout. So, yes, I was passionate. You ask anybody who knows me personally, I'm pretty much passionate about anything I do. That's just the type of person I am. I feel like if you're going to do it right. Do it with excellence. And also make sure when you do it, you represent your community, you represent your peers, you represent your family with excellence. And so, yes, it's personal in that regards. However, it's not personal in the sense of I have a vendetta to play out, or I'm trying to get some type of my own dig into someone. No, I want you to be held accountable for what you did. Once you're held accountable, I'm moving on to the next case.
Can you speak to the survivors in this case, specifically Ms. Kareem? I know she mentioned she's a survivor of domestic violence at the hands of Bigsby, and now this situation. How are you supporting the family after this?
So, Miss Kareem and her 3 boys, we have been able to bond with this entire office. Where is Miss Crump? Oh, there she is. I'm sorry. So Miss Crump is the director of Victim Service Unit, along with her staff. Different ones are in here. And we have been working intimately with her, trying to help her to get on the road to healing. Again, you can't completely get closure because it's not like there's a tombstone you can go to and be able to just bond and grieve and so forth. So as she stated, it's a nightmare every day. It's a nightmare. Her kids talk about him every day. So one of the things, we met yesterday, and I told her, I said, I put everybody in counseling. I'm a big fan of therapy to help you talk out where you are, to help you to navigate your emotional health. Because if she's not healthy, they can't be healthy. And so I put everybody in counseling. I'll put a dog in counseling if I had to. That's just me. But also being able to help them to navigate whatever other obstacles that may be present and whatever hardships they may be facing. There's resources for everything. So sometimes I look at our office, and not just in her case, but in just pretty much any case, I look at our office as almost like a hub. And although we may not necessarily be able to do this or that, we can point you in the right directions. We can pick up the phone and say, hey, I have this family that's dealing with this. I have this victim that's dealing with this. I have this sibling that's dealing with this. And point them in the right direction and make sure the connection is there and that they're getting the services that they need. So I think we've acted as a hub to a great deal, but I also believe that we've just been a support system. Her staff, they're amazing. Ms. Crump's staff is amazing. She's been doing this for over 30-some years, and I'm just so blessed to have her as a part of our staff. My staff is amazing. My attorneys, my investigators, my support staff, all of them. They're just amazing people. I love my job. I love working with them. So whatever we can do to help a person navigate the court system and come back out of on the other end in a better place, that's what we do.
Speaking of, you mentioned hardships, obviously, for Ms. Kareem. Last press conference after the trial, you had said to the media that she was going through things that you could not tell us at that time.
You heard it today.
You were talking about her friend and the unfortunate timing and the heart attack. That was just very emotional, and I assume that's what you were talking about.
Absolutely. So her friend, one of her best friends, literally had a heart attack the early morning that she was supposed to testify. So think about this. I want y'all to think about this. You go to court or you come to a city to be with a friend of yours, a loved one, because they're about to go through one of the most traumatic situations ever, which is they are there to testify about their child being murdered. and you're there, clearly there's anxiety everywhere. Clearly there's stress everywhere. We can't say for certain what caused the heart attack, but this young lady, same age, had a massive heart attack the morning she was supposed to testify in front of her kids, in front of DJ. The little boy that testified, he saw her have that heart attack, and she died. These are the things that we can always say, but that's the negative impact that people go through that the public have no clue that they experience. And so she had a heart attack and she died. And those boys saw it, and unfortunately she saw it. And yet, she still got up on that stand and testified like a trooper and went through the abuse. You saw it even today. I didn't even question the auntie of the defendant, just out of respect. Did I believe the stuff that she was saying? No. But just out of respect, I didn't. But you saw what he did to her, the mom. You know, I'm glad he's retiring. Yes.
As the face of the Commonwealth Prosecutor Office here in Hampton, Virginia, what message would you like to set out, or have you set out, to anybody who feel as though they're going to abuse our children or murder them in Hampton, Virginia?
Not in Hampton. You come up in Hampton, you got a problem. You come up in Hampton, you got a situation on your hand. I'm telling you, not in Hampton. Go somewhere else. I don't care where you go, but don't do it here. Because you come up in Hampton, I'm locking you up.
And Ms. Kareem, sum up what this maximum sentence means to her. If she stepped to the mic and share what
Absolutely.
this
Come on.
means to her.
To me, this sentence means that he's finally being held accountable for his actions, for anything he's ever done to me, my children, or for anybody else. Justice has been served for Codi. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you, and you will be hearing, I guess, about the next set of court dates for phase 2. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Job well done.
Thank you.
Guys, this will be the conclusion of the press conference here in Hampton, Virginia. I'd like to get a prosecutor
Everyone stay
office.
seated for a moment, please. We'll have y'all exit out through this door.
I'd like to get a prosecutor office here in Hampton, Virginia. Accolades for allowing Rhoda Young Live to come in at their press conference and treat me with the utmost respect throughout this trial. Thank everyone that worked for the beautiful city of Hampton, Virginia for the respect that they've given Rhoda Young Live throughout this case. Thank the courts and everybody that was included. Our hearts and our prayers are going out to baby Codi's family here in Hampton, Virginia. But with justice ever really be served here in Hampton, Virginia, I truly believe it would not be served until we find out where it is, baby Codi, here in Hampton, Virginia. I am the #1 news reporter in Hampton Roads. I am your